to know how to pick locks. I'm former CIA officer Jason Hanson. I'm going to give you a quick lock picking tutorial.
Please welcome back former CIA officer Jason Hanson.
Former CIA Jason Hanson.
This handsome fella is Jason Hanson.
This is Jason Hanson, former CIA guy.
This is some of the information I share when I do our Ultimate Spy Week, when I do our spy courses at our 320-acre spy ranch. So let's get down to it. Also, of course, make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazz so you get my more videos. But anyways, to pick locks the way I'm going to show you right now, you need two tools. First one is called an L rake. That is this doohickey here, kind of like a toothbrush looking thingy. So you can buy these online, and when I say L rake, it is literally the letter of the alphabet L, so the letter L dash rake, R-A-K-E. So get yourself an L rake. Next, you need this thing here, this doohickey that you can hopefully see. Maybe I background it here. This is called a tension wrench. It is kind of an S-looking thing. So you need an L rake, you need a tension wrench. You can buy both of these online. They are very, very inexpensive, just a couple bucks for each. And then of course, you need a lock. The lock I'm going to demonstrate on today, this is basically a quick set type of lock, very cheap locks. If you go into Home Depot and you can buy a lock for a couple of bucks, well, guess what? It's going to be easy to pick. It's not going to have the world's best security. You need to get Medico or Schlegg or Pony Up spend more money on locks, because there was an incident, and it was months ago. I think it was a New York City apartment building. They all had the same locks on them, and some guy, I think they were Kwikset or some super cheap brand, and the criminal was just picking all the locks, going robbing people before they eventually caught him. When I first moved to Utah, we rented a townhouse, and everything had Kwikset locks, because what do people do? Or what do the construction guys do? They build 500 homes or 500 townhouses, they throw the world's cheapest lock on it, and nobody ever changes their lock. And so, of course, I did, but I had neighbors that would get locked out, and they'd call me over, and within 30 seconds, I could pick their locks. So, if you have cheap locks, well, guess what? Change that. One more story. My brother, when he first moved to Salt Lake City, he had locks on there that were the super cheap locks. Well, one time I went over to his house to visit him because I was in business for Salt Lake, which I do a lot. He wasn't there. I noticed he had the cheap locks. I picked his locks. I called him from his house, and I said, hey, I'm eating your pizza. And he said, of course, get out of my house. And I said, well, guess what? Change your locks. So for about a year, I would break into his house every time I was in Salt Lake, call him, and finally, one time I went over there, and he had the higher end expensive locks, which would have taken me a very long time to pick, and I don't have that much patience, so I didn't pick them. So I'm gonna beat this like a dead horse. Change your locks. Don't make it any easier for criminals. Be a hard target. That way they go to all your neighbors who are easy targets. Once you have your, remember, L rake, once you have your tension wrench, you're gonna put your tension wrench hanging out here to the side. So if we're looking at it the same way, it is hanging out to our right side. Let it fall naturally. It doesn't matter where it falls. I'm gonna hold this for demo purposes, since this is obviously not in a door. I'm gonna hold this for demo purposes, but let this, again, wherever it falls, let this tension wrenching fall. You are gonna put a feather amount of weight on this, meaning you're barely gonna touch it. When I'm doing our live training, I'll go around and I'll just put my finger on people's knuckles and say, that's the amount of pressure. Because if you put too much pressure on this lock, it's gonna know it's a burglar. It's gonna know somebody's trying to pick the lock. So you're just barely resting your finger on there. Next, we take our L rake. You want your teeth on your teeth brush to be upwards. Remember, these locks have 5 pins in them. When we put a normal key in it, we know the key has ridges. The pins line up with what is called a shear line, and when everything lines up right, you turn the key, it opens the lock. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rake this lock to make everything line up with the shear line quickly, that way we can pick it. So we obviously don't have the key. So what we're gonna do, and actually I'm gonna take this tension wrench out first. When we're raking this, you are gliding, your teeth are up, you're gliding in and out very smoothly. So, see, and I'm not gonna talk again because I want you to see how smooth I'm going, and maybe you might be able to hear it. I'm going in and out fast and smooth, but while I'm going in and out at the same time, I'm applying a little pressure upwards because I'm trying to get all those 5 pins on the shear line by going in and out quickly. And when they do, I can unlock it. So let me get my tension wrench again, back in here, hanging out, putting a featherweight. I've got my L rake. I'm gonna come up here, and see, I pick it too fast. See how I've done this maybe once or twice or 10,000 times? I'm gonna put a lot of pressure now so it shouldn't open. I'm gonna glide in and out of here. And this lock has obviously been used way too many times, way too easy to open. So if I'm sitting here for 30 seconds and I'm gliding in and out, and I'm gliding in and out, I'm gliding in and out, and it will unlock, what you want to do is put the lock up to your ear, lift your finger off of the tension wrench, and if you hear all the pins fall down and reset, that means you're gliding right, but you're putting too much pressure here. So the reason I say do this after 30 seconds is if you can't open it in 30 seconds, you're doing it wrong. So you're gonna glide in and out for 30 seconds. And again, this lock is very easy, one keeps opening. But if you glide in and out for 30 seconds, nothing happens, you lift up your finger, you hear all the pins reset, you know you're just putting too much pressure here. Once you put the right amount of pressure and you're gliding in and out smoothly, this is a smooth thing. It's not a herky-jerky thing. Once you're gliding in and out smoothly, your finger will automatically fall down when it opens, so that's how you know you opened it. And then spin it around and reset it, and you're good to go. With an L rake and a tension wrench, you can pick all kinds of cheap locks. So if you go to Home Depot and you see those master locks, the black kind that are like $10 for 5 of them, or whatever the real price is, you know what I'm talking about, those small black master locks that take a key. Using this exact method, L rake, tension wrench, you can pick those cheap key locks. I picked many cheap key, like filing cabinets. Here's a funny story. One time, I've been very blessed to be on the Rachel Ray show over a dozen times. And one time they said, hey, we want you to pick a lock on national television. Well, guess what? When it comes to lock picking, most of the time you can get in, but not always. Sometimes things happen. It's not your lucky day, or the lock just takes time. And with national TV, you need to be quick. You can't be sitting there boring the audience, taking 5 minutes to pick a lock. So I foolishly agreed to pick not a padlock, it was a filing cabinet on national TV that they brought out. I used my L rake and tension wrench, and it took me about 30 seconds. The video's out there somewhere, but you better believe it was the longest 30 seconds of my life, because I was thinking, crap, this is not gonna look good on national TV if I can get in there. So the moral of the story is, don't go on national TV and say you can pick a lock, because it doesn't always work. But if you have an L rake and tension wrench, in addition to getting in front door locks, in addition to getting in cheap padlocks, yes, you can break into filing cabinets if you want to, because they're cheap stuff. So get yourself an L rake, get yourself a tension wrench. If you want to know more spy secrets and other information, make sure you click on the link below. I know you're going to find it valuable. I am former CIA officer Jason Hanson. Hopefully you learned a thing or two today. God bless you, God bless your family, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Adios.